Making friends as an adult can feel, well, kind of impossible sometimes. But what if I told you there's a clear, science-backed roadmap for it? A way to actually build those meaningful connections you're looking for? That's exactly what we're going to break down right now. Your guide to building a village, from the why all the way to the how-to. All right, let's get into it.
First things first, if you've been feeling a bit isolated, I really need you to hear this. It is not a personal failure. It's actually a super common experience, and just knowing that you're not the only one, that's a huge first step.
But just how common are we talking about? Well, according to Gallup, that number, 52 million, is the number of adults in the US who feel lonely every single day. So yeah, this isn't some individual problem, it's a massive collective experience we're all navigating.
And this isn't just about feeling bummed out. The US Surgeon General has actually declared loneliness a public health epidemic. And get this, the health risks are comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's how serious this is. It's why figuring this out is so incredibly important.
So, what in the world is going on? Experts actually have a name for this whole situation. They call it the Friendship Recession. Let's take a quick look at what's really driving this widespread feeling of disconnection.
So what's behind it? Well, according to some research from Harvard, the reasons are probably what you'd guess, but the numbers are pretty telling. The biggest factors are technology, just being too busy and exhausted, and of course, mental health struggles. It seems like our digital world is getting in the way of our real physical one.
And that really points to the big mental shift we have to make. I mean, think about it. Back in school, friendships just sort of happened, right? But as an adult, it takes real conscious effort. We have to be the architects of our own social circles. So, how do we actually do that?
This brings us to the most powerful tool you have. And it's not about being the most charismatic person in the room or anything like that. It's about a simple psychological idea called the consistency principle. This is the secret that makes friendship feel possible again.
It's all based on something called the mere exposure effect. And it's a super simple truth about our brains. We naturally start to like people and things just from seeing them over and over. Familiarity literally breeds liking. The secret ingredient isn't intensity, it's frequency.
A classic study from the 1950s shows this perfectly. Researchers looked at friendships in a student apartment building and found something amazing. Who became friends had almost nothing to do with personality and everything to do with proximity. People were way more likely to be friends with their next-door neighbors than with someone just a few doors away. Just being near each other did all the heavy lifting.
So what this all boils down to is one really powerful idea. Friendships aren't forged in some big, dramatic moment. They're built slowly, through dozens of little, repeated, casual interactions. That person you nod to at the coffee shop, the regular in your gym class, that is the real starting point for connection.
Okay, so if consistency is the name of the game, where do you find these chances for repeated encounters? The answer lies in something sociologists call third places. These are basically environments that are perfectly set up for this kind of thing. A third place is just a fancy term for a spot that isn't your home, that's your first place, or your work, your second place. It's a neutral public space where people can gather and community can just happen. Think of it as your launch pad for new connections. And these places are all around you. It could be a dog park, a weekly yoga class, a volunteer group. The key is to pick one or two and just start showing up consistently. The only goal at first is to become a familiar face. That's how you get that mere exposure effect working for you.
All right, so you found your third place. You're seeing the same people week after week. Now what? How do you actually turn that friendly nod into a real conversation and maybe, just maybe, into a real friendship?
Well, the answer is what's called the bridge strategy, and it's all about taking gradual steps. So for the first couple of weeks, you start really small. Use their name, ask how their weekend was. After that, you can suggest a super low-stakes activity like, hey, want to grab a coffee after this? And if that goes well, you try to make it a regular thing. It's a gentle, intentional process.
I know. This is the part that stops so many of us, right? That fear of the awkward pause. Or the fear of rejection when you make that first move. The good news is there's a simple communication trick that makes this so much easier.
The key is to be specific. Saying, we should hang out sometime, is a classic for a reason, but it's a dead end. It puts all the work on the other person. Instead, you want to offer a specific invitation, a place, a day, and a time. It makes it a really easy yes or no, it's actionable, and it shows you're actually serious.
And if you're worried about hearing no, just look at the data. If you ask 10 people to hang out, you're likely to get 3 or 4 enthusiastic yeses. A flat-out no is actually way less common than our brains tell us it is. And those few yeses, that's all you need. Those are the seeds of your new community.
So we've covered the problem, the psychology behind the solution, and the specific tactics you can use. Now let's pull it all together into one final, actionable plan to get you started building your village.
It all comes together in a simple 90-day plan. Your first month is just about laying the foundation. Month 2 is all about maintaining that consistency and following up. And then month 3 is where you start to intentionally deepen those new connections. Just remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint.
As you get started, just keep these things in mind. Focus on quality, not quantity. Remember that consistency will always beat intensity. Just showing up is the most powerful move you can make. And see taking the initiative not as a burden, but as an opportunity. Because at the end of the day, your village isn't going to build itself.
And let's end on this really powerful idea. The village you're looking for isn't just out there somewhere waiting for you to stumble upon it. It's waiting to be built. And the tools to build it, they're already in your hands. It's not about finding your people. It's about building a space where your people can finally find you.